Hi guys, welcome to Ashok IT. Today we are here to talk about Amazon Web Services. It's also called as AWS. Before getting started, could you please confirm? Are you able to hear my voice clearly? Confirm in the chat box. Yeah guys, please respond in the chat. Is my voice audible for everyone? Perfect. Thank you so much for confirmation. Let's get started. Amazon Web Services. Good evening everyone. Welcome to Ashok IT. My name is Ashok. Today we are going to understand what is Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services is also called as AWS. What we are going to learn in this workshop. First, we'll see what is cloud, what is that cloud computing. Everywhere people are saying that cloud computing, cloud computing. What is that cloud computing is all about? And what are cloud advantages? What are the advantages of going for that cloud computing? And what are the cloud services available? What are the cloud services available? And what is this AWS cloud? We'll see a strong introduction for AWS and what are AWS services are available and which services we are going to use frequently in our projects. All right, let us see first. Before going to understand cloud computing, there are so many cloud are available in the market. There are so many cloud providers also available in the market. Before going to understand any cloud computing or any cloud provider, first we need to understand what is our project and what is the architecture of our project. So in the IT companies, we are going to develop several projects. As part of those projects only, we are going to use these clouds like AWS cloud, Azure cloud, or Google cloud. Why? Why we need to go for that cloud computing? In order to understand the real power of the cloud computing, first we need to see what is the problem in our project's development. Once we understand the problem, then we will see solution to solve that problem. Okay, so first let's try to understand what is an application architecture. All right, we all are going to join in the IT companies, or some people are already working in the companies. Some people are trying to get the job in the companies. All right, what we will do once you get the job, what you are going to do once you get the job in the company? Once you get the job in the company, you are going to be part of one project. You need to develop one project. Now, every project, if you take every project in the industry, will be divided into three parts, guys. For the project, we will have presentation tier. Presentation tier is nothing but user interface. Presentation tier is nothing but user interface. Now you are going to use that user interface. You are going to use that user interface to interact with the application. You are going to use that user interface to interact with the application. Whatever you see on the website, if you open a Facebook or if you open Flipkart or Amazon or our institute website, you will see some user interface on the project. You will see some user interface on the project. Now you see, I opened one project. Now I have opened one project. Now, can you see the user interface of our project now? Can you see the user interface of our project? Some menu is available, some icons are available. When you scroll down, some courses are available. When you go for online training, our training timetable is available. So this is whatever you are able to see on the website. This is our institute website. Whatever you see on our website, that is called user interface, which is also called as front end of our application, which is also called as front end of our application. Using this user interface, people will interact with our website. Now here there are some buttons available. Here there are some menus available. Logo is available. Okay. Now when you click on this button, it is asking some credentials. When you enter those credentials and click on login, it is going to verify your credentials are valid or not. It is going to verify credentials are valid or not. If the credentials are valid, it is allowing you to log in into your application. When I click on login, if I enter some invalid credentials, if I enter some wrong credentials, click on login button, then what will happen? If I enter some invalid credentials and click on login button, it is saying invalid email ID and password. That means some code is executing in the background. That means some code is executing in the background. That is called backend of the application. That is called as backend of the application. That backend will be executing in some server. How you are communicating from front end to backend? By using internet. My laptop is connected to internet. In this laptop, I'm accessing the website. I'm using the internet connection for my laptop. Using that internet, I'm accessing my application. Once I access the application, I'm able to see user interface of the application. User interface nothing but front end of the application, which is also called as presentation tier of the application. Using that presentation tier, I'm clicking on some buttons. Then application backend will be executed. Can you see the backend of the application? Guys, can you see the backend of the application, or we cannot see the backend of the application? You cannot see the backend of the application. We cannot see the backend of the application. Now, the backend code, some programming languages we will use to develop the backend, like Java, Python, PHP, .NET. There are so many programming languages are available in the market to develop backend of the application. So front end will be available, backend will be available for a software project. Front end means what you see on the browser. When you access facebook.com, you will see some login button, you will see some registration form, you will see forgot password. That is called presentation tier. Using that presentation tier, you will perform some operations. Then that presentation tier will communicate with the backend application tier. Presentation tier will communicate with the application tier by using internet. That application tier end user cannot see, but definitely backend will be available for every project. In that backend, business logic will be available. So user is clicking on the login button. Then through internet connection, that request is going to the backend server. The server is processing your request. Now that backend logic will contain business logic. The backend part of our application contains business logic. In that business logic, sometimes we will communicate with the database servers to store the user's data who registered in my website. That user's email ID, password, mobile number, gender, I'm going to store into one database. For every application, we are using databases also. For every applications, we are going to use databases also. Database servers are used to store the data. Who created account in the Facebook? Facebook application will store into one database. When you try to log in into Facebook next time, they will verify your login credentials are valid or not. Your username and password valid or not. They are going to check with the database. So guys, do you understand how many tiers will be available in a software project now? Whether you are a programmer, whether you are a administrator, whether you are a DevOps engineer, you need to understand architecture of the application, because tomorrow you are going to work on this application only. Presentation tier will be available, application tier will be available, and the data tier will be available. Presentation tier nothing but user interface. What users can see on our project, that is called user interface. When a user performs some operation on the presentation tier, then it will interact with the application tier. Application tier nothing but backend of our project. In the backend, business logic will be available. The backend logic will be executing inside a server. Backend logic will be executing inside a server. Then backend logic will be communicating with database to store the data, to retrieve the data, to update the data, to delete the data. Now you see in our project, when you click on training schedules, what happening? Some data is coming from the backend and it is displaying in the table. Where is this data available? This data is available in the database. So when I click on online training, that means I'm using some button to click here. I'm using some menu to click here. I'm using user interface. When I click this button, one request is sent to the backend server, that server is interacting with the database and it is getting the data and it is displaying the data in the user interface. So this is the overall application architecture. Are you guys able to understand the architecture of the application? Are you guys able to understand the architecture of the application? What is presentation tier? What is application tier? And what is the data tier? Presentation tier means user interface. Application tier means the back end of the project. Data tier nothing but database of the project. Okay, fine. You are able to interact with the application by using user interface through internet connection. Request is going to server. That's fine, guys. Now, can you imagine how many people will interact with Facebook application daily? How many people will use the Facebook application daily? Can you tell me that? Can you say only 1,000 people will use the Facebook application in a day? Only 1,000 people will use the Facebook application in a day? Only 10,000 people will use? 1 million people? 1 crore people? 2 crore people? 3 crore people? Maybe more than that. Maybe more than that. Now, let's understand, if the Facebook application is running inside a server, if 1 crore people are using the Facebook at a time, the load will be increased on the backend server or not. Now, Facebook backend logic is running inside one server, like web server will be available to run our application. App server will be available to run our application. Now here, if you see in the second part, application tier, Facebook application is running inside one server. Facebook application is running inside one server. If Facebook application is running inside one server, is it sufficient to handle 1 crore people requests coming to the Facebook application? One server is sufficient or one server is not sufficient to handle 1 crore people requests coming to Facebook application? Simple example, guys. If I give you 10 kg rice bag, easily you can carry that bag. If I give you 10 kg rice bag, easily you can carry. If I give 100 kg rice bag, can you carry that? If I give 200 kgs rice bag, can you carry that? If I give 500 kg rice bag, can you carry that? No. That means the weight is increasing. Your capacity is increasing. Okay. The weight is increasing. The whatever the capacity of the weight that you need to carry, it is increasing, but you can carry up to 50 kgs or maybe 60 kgs or 70 kgs. 100 kgs you cannot carry. 200 kgs you cannot carry. Similarly, if 10,000 people using the Facebook application, Facebook server can handle that. If 1 lakh people accessing, Facebook server can handle that. If 1 million people accessing, it cannot handle because the load is increasing. The load is increasing. If 1 crore people accessing, definitely that server will crash. That server will die. The backend project cannot execute because too much traffic is coming to that server. That server is not able to handle that load. If the server is not able to handle that load, will it become a problem for our business or not? Will it become a problem for our business or not? If the server is not able to handle the load, could you please confirm, guys? If server is not able to handle the load, will it become a problem or it will not become a problem? Definitely, it will become a problem if the server is not able to handle the load. We will lose the customers. We will lose the customers. We will lose the business. So now tell me, are you going to deploy your project in one server then? Is one server sufficient to handle Facebook users requests? Can Facebook company deploy the Facebook backend project in only one server? Is it sufficient? Is that one server sufficient to deploy our application? Definitely not. Definitely not. One server is not sufficient to deploy Facebook application because worldwide people are using Facebook application. Are you clear with my point, guys? If a Facebook application is deployed in one server, then definitely that server cannot handle all these user requests. Millions of people, crores of people are able to access the Facebook application at a time. That means they are using multiple servers. They are using multiple servers to run the application. They are using multiple servers to run the application. How they are using multiple servers to run the application? That's where load balancing concept comes into picture. How these websites we are able to access, how so many users are able to access Flipkart, Facebook, Gmail, Google, LinkedIn, Naukri, IRCTC, Make My Trip, Redbus. There are so many web applications we are using in our daily life. How these applications are able to handle these many users, how these applications are able to handle these many users. In order to handle these many user requests in the real time, we are going to implement a concept called load balancer. What is the concept, guys? Load balancer. What is the meaning of the load balancer? Load balancer is used to distribute the traffic to multiple servers. That means you don't deploy your application in one server. If you see in the previous slide, application is running in one server. If the application is running in one server, that server cannot handle the huge traffic which is coming to our application. If the server is not able to handle the load, then definitely it will impact on our project. So that's why we will never deploy the project on single server in the real time. We are going to deploy our application in multiple servers. Can you see this diagram here? Am I deploying my application on the single server, or I'm deploying my application on the multiple servers? I'm going to deploy my application on the multiple servers. All these servers are connected to one more server called load balancer. All these servers are connected to one more server called load balancer. What is this load balancer? Load balancer is a server. Load balancer is also a server, guys. Remember that. Now, so all the servers, these are called as my app servers. App servers, nothing but where my application is running. The server which is running with our application is called as a app server. I'm taking multiple app servers to run my application. Why I am taking multiple servers? If I run my application in one server, if I run my application in one server, that server may not handle the load. That server may not handle the load. Maybe today 1 crore people access my application and my business became very famous, and tomorrow 2 crore people may access my application. Now the server which I am using is not capable to handle 2 crore users at a time. So that's the reason we will never deploy our application on single server. We are going to deploy our applications on multiple servers. Then if the application is running on multiple servers, how our request will go to a server? How our request will go to a particular server? That's where load balancer comes into picture. All the app servers will be connected to one more server called load balancer. Load balancer is used to distribute the load to particular server. Hey, this user sending a request, www.facebook.com. This user request came to load balancer. Load balancer will give the request to first server. Then second user is accessing the Facebook, www.facebook.com. Then second request came to load balancer. Second request will give to second server. That is called distributing. When third user accessing the application, www.facebook.com, the request came to load balancer. Load balancer gave the request to third server. So three requests are coming. Three requests are going to single server. Three requests are distributed to three servers here. Three requests are going to single server, or three requests are going to three different servers. Three requests are going to three different servers. Who is distributing that request to the particular server? Load balancer. Load balancer is used to distribute the traffic to multiple app servers which are running. Are you guys able to understand? Here if you see, clients are available. Clients are nothing but users who is going to access our application. How client will access our web application? Clients will use internet, they will use a mobile phone, or they will use browsers. They are going to access our application by using internet. When they access our application, that request should come to load balancer. Load balancer is used to distribute the traffic. That load balancer is going to distribute the traffic to our servers. Sir, how the load balancer will distribute the traffic to our server? There are some algorithms available: round robin algorithm, sticky session algorithm, IP hashing algorithm. Like in the coming classes, in the AWS classes, I will tell you how to work with this load balancer and how to configure algorithm also to route the traffic to multiple servers. For example, let's talk about round robin. What is the meaning of round robin algorithm? What is the meaning of round robin algorithm? That means first request will come. First request will come. That first request will go to first server. Now, first user is sending a request, guys. First user sending a request. The request came to load balancer. What this load balancer is going to do? The load balancer is going to distribute that traffic to distribute that request to this first server. Here, my first server is available. Then second user accessing that application. Second request also came to load balancer. Second request it is sending to second server. Then third user is accessing our application. Third user is accessing our application. Then third request will go to third server. So this is called round robin technique. This is called round robin technique. All the load balancers will use round robin technique by default. Sir, I don't want to go for this round robin technique. I want to go for sticky session. That means my first request will go to first server. There my session will be created. My second request also should go to the first server. My third request also should go to the first server. My fourth request also should go to the first server. That is called sticky session algorithm. That is called as sticky session algorithm. But by default, which algorithm the load balancers are going to use to divert the traffic? By default, which algorithm they are going to use to divert our traffic, guys? Can you tell me? Which algorithm they are going to use to divert our traffic by default? By default, they are going to use round robin algorithm. Are you guys able to understand what is this load balancer and what is the round robin algorithm now? Are you guys able to understand what is the load balancer and what is round robin algorithm now? Right? So here our application is running in multiple servers. Now let's understand, this is server 1 and this is server 2 and this is server 3. These are called as 3 nodes. These are called as 3 nodes. 3 app servers are available, nothing but 3 nodes are available. All these 3 nodes are connected to load balancer. All these 3 nodes are connected to load balancer. Load balancer is also a server. Now here this load balancer will have one IP. This server also having one IP. Now when you are accessing this load balancer, are you typing a IP address like 192.168.1.0.0? Are you typing the URL like this, or we are typing simply facebook.com? What you are typing, guys, in the browser? Are you typing the address of the server? Are you typing the domain name in the browser? Are you typing the IP address of the server, or you are typing a domain name? We are typing a domain name. So that is called DNS. That is called as DNS. Whatever you are typing in the browser, that is called DNS. The DNS will be linked to IP address. So every server will have a IP 192.168.1.1.0, something like that. A unique IP address will be available for our servers. Okay. Now, as an end user, are you typing the IP address to access your server, or you are using a domain name? We are using a domain name www.facebook.com. www.facebook.com. Then when you access a domain name in the browser, how that request is going to the particular server? Server is having a IP, but the user is typing a domain name. There should be some mapping between the domain name and IP address. That is called DNS mapping. That is called DNS mapping. Are you guys able to follow me? Let me repeat once again. Please concentrate, guys. This is very, very important. They are going to ask in the interview how your application is running. Is your application is running on one server, or your application is running on multiple servers? Can you tell me our application will run in one server, or our application will run in the multiple servers? Our application will run in one server, or our application will run on the multiple servers? Guys, tell me. Definitely application is going to run on the multiple servers. Why our application will run on the multiple servers? Why our application will run in the multiple servers? Any reason? Can you tell me any reason? To handle the traffic. To handle the traffic. So many users are going to access our application. If you are running on one server, that server is not capable to handle that load. If a 1 crore request comes, server will die. That is the reason we don't run our applications on single server. That's why we are going to deploy our application on multiple servers. Now, let me take it as this is one server where my application is running. This is my second server where my application is running. This is my third server where my application is running. So total, how many servers are there to run our application? 3 servers are available. 3 servers, nothing but in 3 computers. I have taken 3 computers. In the 3 computers, I installed servers. Then I have deployed my application. So this is one machine. This is one machine. And this is one machine. Total 3 machines available. In 3 machines, I have installed the servers. Then I have deployed my application. Perfect. Can you tell to the people, hey, this is facebook1.com, this is facebook2.com, and this is facebook3.com. Can you give 3 URLs for the people to access your application? Can you give 3 URLs for the people to access your application? facebook1.com. Hey, Indians, use facebook1.com. Hey, Americans, facebook2.com. Hey, Canada people, facebook3.com. For every country, can you give one URL? Or for everybody should have only single URL? Everybody should have a single URL. All right. So here, 3 servers are available. 3 servers are having 3 different IPs. That's fine. There should be one single server. There should be one single server to distribute the traffic. That's where I am using this load balancer. This is also one server. I'm using a load balancer. This is also one server. This is a web server. This web server is installed in one computer, guys. This web server is installed in one computer. This computer is also having one IP. Generally, how the IP will be available? 192.168.1.0 something. That is my IP address of the server. Now, am I giving IP address to the people? Hey, if you want to access Ashok IT website, type 192.168.1.1. Can I tell the IP address to the people to access my website? Can I tell the IP address to people to access my website? Can people remember the IP address? Not possible. Then what should I do? I need to give the IP address to the people, or I need to give the domain name to the people. I need to give IP address to the people, or I need to give the domain name to the people. Domain name. So what is the domain name of the Facebook? Facebook.com. Or Naukari website having, every project will have its own domain. Every project will have their own domain. Facebook.com, gmail.com, google.com, naukari.com, irctc.com. All right. So people are typing facebook.com. Let's see here. Facebook.com. They're opening the browser. They're typing facebook.com. But what is the load balancer what is the load balancer having? Load balancer having a IP. So there should be some mapping between the load balancer and IP. When user type facebook.com in the browser, that request should go to load balancer server. That is called as DNS. What is that concept, guys? What is that concept called? DNS. Every project will have a DNS configuration. Every project will have that DNS configuration. Sir, what is this DNS mapping? The process of mapping domain name with the server IP is called as the DNS mapping. Now, can you see any project without domain name? Can you tell me any project without domain name? Is it possible, first of all? Can you promote our project without domain name? Not possible. Okay, not possible. So we are deploying our application on the multiple servers to handle the load. All the servers are connected to load balancer. Load balancer is a server which is having some IP. But for the public, I'm not giving that IP. For the public people, I'm not giving that IP. For the public people, I'm giving a domain name. So I need to map that domain name to my load balancer URL. When user send a request with the domain name is mapped to public IP, that is a load balancer IP. That IP address is having that machine IP, that machine having load balancer server. That server will apply round robin algorithm. Which algorithm they are using, guys? Round robin algorithm. First request, first server, second request, second server, third request, third server. Like that, round robin algorithm will be available in our load balancer, that is by default. If you want, you can configure other algorithms also. There are several other algorithms also available that we can configure to route the request from the load balancers to particular server. Are you guys able to understand what is load balancing and what is, are you able to understand what is load balancing and what is DNS mapping now? Are you able to understand? Clear for everybody. Very good. Okay, with this we understood how the application is going to deploy, application is going to run in the real time. Application will have a front end, application will have a back end, application will have a database. Front end will be available, back end will be available, database will be available. Very good. So we are not going to run our application on the single server. We are going to run our application on the multiple servers. We are going to run our application on the multiple servers. When our application is running on the multiple servers, for those servers we are going to configure load balancer. For the load balancer, we have a IP. That IP will be linked with the domain name. Domain name mapping will be there. The process of linking project domain name with load balancer IP is called as DNS mapping. For every project, we need to do that DNS mapping. So with this, I hope you got the clarity. What is application architecture and what is load balancing? Application architecture means presentation tier will be available, application tier will be available, data tier will be available. Application tier nothing but where our business logic will be executing inside the server. If we deploy on one server, that is not sufficient to handle the load. That's why our application will be deployed to multiple servers by using load balancer. And for every application, DNS mapping is also required. When you hit facebook.com in the browser, that facebook.com is the domain name of the project. That URL will be mapped to load balancer IP. That load balancer will distribute the load to application servers by using round robin technique. Are you guys able to follow me? Are you guys able to follow me? Clear. So now you understand how the projects are executing. Now you are using facebook.com. Do you think that Facebook is executing in one server? Do you think that Facebook is executing in one server? Do you think that Flipkart is executing in one server? Gmail is executing in one server? Definitely not. Those are world famous applications. Huge traffic will be available for those applications. So definitely those projects are having load balancing concept. Definitely those projects are having load balancing concept. Very good. Now we understand application architecture. We understood application architecture. We understood what is load balancer. Now let's talk about how to set up this load balancer to deploy our application. How to deploy this application now? How to deploy this application now? Guys, come on. We need the database administrators to deploy our application because database we have to set up. To configure the load balancers and round robin techniques, IP address DNS mapping, we need the network administrators. We need to recruit network administrator for our application. And I want to deploy my application on the 10 servers. So I need to purchase 10 computers. And I need to purchase the application servers. I need to purchase the database servers. I have to set up everything. I have to set up everything. Guys, we need to set up everything. Why? Because I want to run my application. I want to run my application. If I want to run my application, then what should I do? If I want to run my application, then what should I do in the company? What should we do in the company? Now, I need to purchase 10 computers first. Okay, I need to purchase 10 computers first here. This is my computer 1. I need to purchase 10 computers here. I need to purchase 10 computers here because I want to run my application in 10 servers. Okay, this is my computer 1 and this is my computer 2. Let me take give me 1 minute, guys. Let me take proper symbol. Yeah, yeah. This is one computer and this is one computer and this is one computer. This is one computer, like this. I need to take multiple computers to run my project. So we need to purchase very high-end computers. In this computer, I need to install my server. I need to install a server in these computers because I want to run my application. My application is a web application, so I need to have a server. And all these application servers should connect to one database. My application will have a database. Without a database, we can't see any application in the real time. Got it? We need to have database also. We need to take the database here, guys. We need to take the database here. Got my point? Here I'm going to take the database. All these servers should connect to this database. All these servers should connect to database. I need to purchase all these computers. I need to purchase all these computers. Now, along with that, I need to purchase one more server where I can configure my load balancer Now, all these servers should be connected with the load balancer. All these servers should be connected with the load balancer to distribute the traffic. Then again here my load balancer will have a IP address. My load balancer will have a IP address. Now I need to do DNS mapping here. I need to do my DNS mapping because people will access the application with the DNS. DNS should be mapped to this IP address. As a developer, can you do all these things? You are a Java programmer. Can you do all these things? Network configuration, load balancer configuration, domain name configuration, linking the domain name with the server IP, database setup, database installation, round robin algorithm. I mean, configuring the algorithm for the load balancer. Can you do all these things being a developer? Can you do all these things being a developer? That is very difficult. That is very difficult to do all these things being a developer. Being a developer, what is your duty? Being a developer, what is your duty? Developing the project, writing the code. Okay. Being a developer, you cannot do all these things. That's why separated team will be available to perform all these operations. Now, think from the company standpoint. Company should recruit the developers who will develop the code for the project. Company should recruit the developers who will develop the code. Then to set up the database, company should recruit the database team. Development team is required, database team is required. Then company should recruit administrator who will install the server, who will set up the server. Then company should recruit networking team who will set up the load balancing, who will configure one IP to another IP, linking between one IP to another IP. That networking team is required. Company should purchase the computers for all these things. Today, my project is running with 10 servers. Tomorrow, my business may increase. I want to go with 50 servers. Then I need to purchase 50 computers. I need to purchase application servers. I need to purchase database servers. I need to set up internet connection for my computers. I need to have a power backup. Power supply should be there. Can you depend on the power which is given by the government to run your project? Can you depend on the power which is given by our government to run our project? If there is a power cut, can you tell to your customer today in Hyderabad there is a power cut, so your project will not work today, please come tomorrow? Can you tell to your customer like that? Today there is no power in the Hyderabad, so project will not work because power is not there. Please come tomorrow. Tomorrow our project will work. Can you tell to the clients like that? Can you tell to the clients like that there is a power cut? Always we need to have a power backup. Always we need to have a power backup. We need to have a network. We need to have a power backup. And we need to set up all the infrastructure to run our application. All the infrastructure we need to set up to run our application. This infrastructure we have to set up. We need to install the servers in the we need to purchase the computers. We need to install the servers in the computers. We need to deploy our application. We need to set up the load balancer. We need to set up the internet connection. We need to set up the power. We need to set up the ACs for our computers. We need to set up a room with all these servers. We need to purchase a DNS. We need to map the DNS to the load balancer server IP address. Oh my God. Lot of activities we have to do in order to deploy our web application. Guys, tell me, is this easy task? Tell me, is this easy task to deploy a application? It is difficult and that too costly. It is a difficult job as well, costly job also. We need to purchase the computers. We need to purchase the computers. We need to purchase the servers. We need to purchase the internet. We need to purchase the power. We need to purchase the power backup generators. We need to recruit the employees to do all this setup. To do all this setup. If I want to run my project, I need to take care of all these things. Recruit the database administrator, recruit the network administrator, purchase the computers, purchase the application servers, purchase the database servers, purchase the network, purchase the power backup machines, and set up the configure everything, then deploy the application and monitor your application infrastructure. If any problem occurs, then you have to fix that problem also. This is very costly job and difficult job. If you are setting up all these things, can you focus on your business development? Can you focus on your business development if you are taking care of all these things? Come on, guys. Can you focus on your business if you are taking care of this infrastructure for a project? You cannot focus on the business. You cannot focus on the business growth because daily you are dying with the infrastructure setup only. Today, one server is down. One server is not working. You will be in the tension why that server is down. Today, your database went down. Database not responding. You need to be very careful about it. If the database is down, your project will be down. Then your business will be down. Today AC is not working for our servers. Air conditioner, AC, to make our room cool. AC is there. AC not working. Who will take care of that? Who should take care of if AC is not working? You need to take care of that. You need to take care of that. For example, your network administrator is not feeling well. He is on leave. He won't leave for next 1 week. He is suffering from fever. He is suffering from fever. He is not coming to office. He will not come for next 1 week also. If any problem occurs with internet, can you fix that issue in the internet? Can you fix that issue in the internet if your network administrator is not coming to office? Then you need to recruit one more network administrator. So can you understand what are the challenges available if you want to run your project in the live? Can you understand what are the challenges available to run our project in the live? Today, power is not there. Today, power is not there. Then what you will do? Your generator also not working. Your power backup also completed. Today there is no power. Today there is no power. In entire Hyderabad, there is no power today because some maintenance activity happening. Assume that. Then what you can do? Your project will be down. Now tell me, managing the infrastructure for the project is easy or difficult? Managing the infrastructure for the project is easy or difficult? Can you tell me that point now? Is it easy or it is difficult? It is difficult. Okay, let's take one more example. Let's take one more example. You have 1 crore rupees money. You have 1 crore money in your pocket. Your bank balance is 1 crore. You purchased 50 computers. You recruited 10 administrator. You purchased 10 generators. You have taken 10 floor building, AC setup, power setup, network setup, 10 employees are there. You are running your project for a client. After 1 month, client told that I want to stop my business. I have another thought in my mind. I want to stop my business. For that client, you purchased this infrastructure by spending 1 crore rupees. Client told that, hey, Ashok, stop my business, stop my website. I want to do some other thing. I don't need this website now. I want to stop my business. Then what you will do? What happened to your 1 crore? You already purchased computers. You already purchased servers. You recruited the employees to run the project for the client. Client stopped the business. Total 1 crore waste or not? Total loss. Your infrastructure is waste because you don't have a project now. Client stopped his business. So it is always very difficult to manage the infrastructure required for the project. And it is very costly also to purchase this infrastructure, to set up this infrastructure. Now tell me, companies are interested to manage the things on their own? Do you think that anybody will take this challenge now? Will anybody take this risk now? Spend 1 crore rupee, purchase the server, set up the network, set up the power, recruit the administrator, configure everything, run the project. Nobody is interested. Why to waste our money? Why to waste our time? Why to waste our money? Why to waste our time? Now, in your house, there is a function. Assume that आपका शादी fix हो गया. आपका शादी fix हो गया. Your marriage got fixed. For your marriage, you are inviting 1,000 people, guests, your relatives, your friends. 1,000 people are coming. For 1,000 people, you want to arrange tables, chairs, lunch, dinner. Will you purchase 1,000 chairs for your marriage? Will you purchase 1,000 chairs for your marriage? Why? Why you will not purchase? आपका शादी है ना भाई? आपका गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ आपका शादी हो रहा है. 1,000 लोग को बुलाया था आप. 1,000 people are coming for your marriage. Why you will not purchase the chairs? You will go for rent, huh? Why you will go for rent? Those chairs we don't need every day. Those chairs we need only for 1 day or 2 days. That's why we will go for rent. That's why we will go for rent. आपका शादी के लिए whatever the chairs and tables are required, you will take those chairs for rent for 1 or 2 days of time. You will use it. You will pay the money. Similarly, if I want to deploy my application, do I really need to purchase these softwares, or I can take the softwares for rent? Do I need to purchase the softwares, or I can take the softwares for rent? I will take the softwares for the rent. The process of taking the softwares and hardwares for rent is called as cloud computing. Do you understand what is cloud computing now? Do you understand what is cloud computing now? In our villages, there are some Shamiana shops are available who will provide tables, chairs, kitchen material, cooking material for rent. When there is a function in your house, you will take the chairs, tables, kitchen material for rent for 2 days. You will use it. They will come to your home. They will set up the tables. They will set up the chairs. They will decorate your house. They will give it for 2 days service. Then for 2 days, you will pay 1 lakh rupee as a rent. Once the 2 days function is completed, they will take the chairs, they will take the tables, they will go to their house. Similarly, in the IT industry, softwares are giving for rent by some companies. That is called cloud computing. What is cloud computing? What is cloud computing now? Do you understand? Nowadays, all the companies are not interested to purchase the softwares to run the application. Companies are not ready to purchase the softwares. Companies are not ready to purchase the computers. Companies are not ready to purchase the databases to run the applications. Why? Purchasing a software means not only one software. You need to purchase the computers. You need to purchase the database server. You need to purchase the application server. You need to purchase the network, purchase the power, recruit the employees, set up everything on your own. If the business is not running, everything is waste. So that's why nowadays companies are not interested to set up the infrastructure on their own. That's where cloud computing came into market. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is delivering on-demanded IT resources over the internet. That is called cloud computing. That means whatever the infrastructure nothing but computers, servers, databases, load balancer, DNS mappings, whatever you want for your project, everything they will provide you through internet. That is called as cloud computing. Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet. Now, you want 10 servers, huh? Take for rent. You want 10 computers, huh? Take for rent. You want a database, huh? Take for rent. You want the load balancer, huh? Take for rent. That is called cloud computing. The process of providing hardware components and software components for the rent over the internet is called as cloud computing. Why we companies are interested for the cloud computing? Now, can you tell me why companies are interested for the cloud computing? Instead of purchasing and managing the softwares required for the project, we can use the softwares for rent. If you want for 1 year, use for 1 year, pay the 1 year rent. Pay the rent for 1 year. You want to use it for only 1 month. Take it for 1 month rent, use it, pay 1 month rent. So do you need to spend crores of rupees? Do you need to send crores of rupees here? When you go for cloud computing, do you need to spend crores of rupees? Or you will just use it for rent? You just use it for rent. That is called cloud computing. Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery. Cloud computing nothing but on-demand delivery. On-demand delivery nothing but whatever you want, you take it. You want database, huh? Take it. You want computer, huh? Take it. You want database server, you want application server, you want load balancer, whatever you want, you take it for rent. Cloud computing is on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet with pay as you go. Pay as you go means how much you use, that much you pay. It is like a postpaid mobile bills, guys. Cloud computing, nothing but using the resources over the internet and pay for what you use. That is called pay as you go pricing. Pay as you go pricing. Now, what is this is saying that instead of buying, owning, and maintaining physical data center nothing but servers, you can access technology services such as computing, power, storage, database on needed basis from a cloud provider. You instead of you are purchasing the infrastructure. What I mean by infrastructure? Infrastructure nothing but server, database, power, network, load balancer, all these things comes under infrastructure only that is required to run our project. Instead of you are purchasing all this infrastructure and setting up this infrastructure, you can take the infrastructure for rent. You can take the infrastructure for rent. Who will provide the infrastructures for rent? Cloud providers are available. Who will provide the infrastructure for rent? Cloud providers are available. Who are the cloud providers available? AWS. That's where AWS comes into picture, guys. Amazon Web Services. Whatever the infrastructure is required for you, AWS will provide you for the rent. AWS is one cloud provider. Amazon Web Services, Amazon company, Azure, Microsoft company having Azure, Google company having GCP. These all are cloud platforms available in the market. These are called as cloud providers. These are called as cloud providers. They will provide you services over the internet. They will provide you services over the internet. That's why they are called as cloud providers. The process of using the infrastructure for rent from the internet is called as cloud computing. Are you guys able to understand what is cloud computing now? Are you guys able to understand what is cloud computing now? Are you guys able to understand what is cloud computing now? What are the advantages of going for this cloud computing? What are the advantages of going for this cloud computing? Can you tell me what are the advantages available? What are the advantages available for the cloud computing? Pay as you go. What are the advantages available for cloud computing? Pay as you go. What is the meaning of pay as you go? What is the meaning of pay as you go? Can you tell me what is the meaning of pay as you go? Come on, guys. What is the meaning of pay as you go? What is the meaning of pay as you go? How much you use, only that much you pay. How much you use, only that much you pay. You got it? That is one advantage. Second advantage, low cost. Are you purchasing the servers or you are taking for rent? Are you purchasing the servers or you are taking the servers for rent? We are taking the servers for rent. So definitely cost will be less. If you want to purchase a chair, you need to pay 600 rupees or 1000 rupees, normal plastic chair. If you take it for rent per day, maybe 10 rupees or 20 rupees rent will be available for that. That's why low cost. Scalability, high scalability. If you want to increase the servers from 20 to 30, 30 to 100, you can do within fraction of seconds. If you want to increase the now, my application is running on 10 servers. I want to run my application on the 20 servers. Within fraction of minutes or fraction of seconds, you can scale. You can scale up. You can scale down your application. If that huge traffic is coming, I want to run on more servers. If less traffic is coming, I want to run on the less servers. That scalability will be available when you go for cloud computing. That scalability will be available when you go for cloud computing. And the availability 24/7, the cloud services are available. Not not only on the weekdays or weekends or festivals. There is nothing like that. 365 days, 24/7, the cloud services are available for you. Availability, that means whenever you want, they are ready to provide you. Whenever you want, they are ready to provide you. Highly availability, 24/7, 365 days, cloud services are available for you. When you want to increase the servers, you can increase. When you want to decrease the servers, you can decrease. Scalability is available. You can scale up, you can scale down. Highly scalable, highly available, highly reliable. That means strong. Reliability is there. Reliability is there. Okay. And security, when you are going for cloud computing, they will provide you security for your softwares that you are using. Because you want to use some servers, you want to use some database, you will store your data. For that, they will provide you 100% security. Cloud services are 100% secured. And unlimited storage. Now, so many customers are using your application. Daily 1 lakh customers are increasing. So much data. Can you imagine how much data generating in the Facebook application in a day? How many new people will create the accounts in the Facebook? How many people will upload the images in the Facebook? How many people will upload videos in the Facebook? How many people will do chatting in the Facebook? Can you imagine WhatsApp? How many people using WhatsApp application? How much data generating in the WhatsApp in a day? How many new people installing the WhatsApp? How many people keeping the status in the WhatsApp, uploading the message, uploading the videos, sharing the messages, chatting, status, profile picture? Arre baap. So much data is generating. You need some storage capacities to store the data or not? You need the storage capacity. If you go for cloud computing, they are providing you unlimited storage. कितना भी data दे दो, वो लोग store करेगा. Unlimited storage they are providing. That is also one of the advantage of going for cloud computing. Backup. Now our servers are running. Maybe some unwanted situation, some earthquakes may occur, some tsunami, earthquake. The building, wherever server is available, the building got collapsed. You don't worry. Cloud provider will take care of the backup and recovery. They will provide you availability. That means your data is safe. Your data is safe. Whenever you want, they will provide you your data. All these advantages are available when you go for cloud computing. Pay as you go. That means how much you use, you just pay that much. You no need to purchase anything. Whatever is required to run your project, whatever is required to run your project, everything they will provide you through internet. You just click a button, they will give you that. Do you want a database? Just click a button, they will give the database for you. You want a computer? Just click the button, they will give you for rent. Pay as you go. It's like a postpaid. Whatever the service you want, they are ready to provide you that service with pay as you go model. You use it, you pay for that. Low cost. You no need to purchase the servers. You no need to purchase the infrastructure. You just use it for rent. Cost will be less for you. Scalability. When you want to increase the infrastructure capacity or when you want to decrease the infrastructure capacity, they will support you. Highly scalable. You can increase from 10 to 20 servers, from 20 to 50 servers, from 50 to 100 servers also you can increase. Highly scalability is available. Highly availability, highly reliability available when you go for cloud computing. Security. They are providing security. Unlimited storage. How much data you want to store, they will store it for you. You pay the money for that. That's it. They will take care of remaining things. Backup. Your data is safe. Your data is safe. If something damage happened to your server also, they will keep your data backup. For every second, for every minute, you can take the backup of your data. That capacity is there in the cloud computing services. Now tell me guys, if I go for this cloud computing, do I need to bother about my infrastructure or I no need to bother about my infrastructure? If I go for cloud computing, do I need to bother about the servers, database, network, power, security, AC? Now, see here, let's go back to my previous slide. Let's go back to my previous slide. Do I need to do anything in these steps? Do I need to do anything in these steps? If I go for cloud computing, happily, I can concentrate on my development. I can concentrate on my business. Infrastructure will be taken care by somebody for rent. Infrastructure will be taken care by AWS. I will just pay the money for the AWS. I will focus on my business. I will focus on my development. I will focus on the new ideas to increase my business, to grow my business. I will not bother about अरे ये सर्वर काम नहीं कर रहा, वो सर्वर काम नहीं कर रहा, ये डेटाबेस काम नहीं कर रहा, वो डेटाबेस काम नहीं कर रहा. You no need to think about that at all because cloud provider will take care of that. You just focus on your development. You just focus on your business. Infrastructure, you no need to bother about it. There are people who will take care of your infrastructure, man. You pay the money, paisa peko, tamasha deko. You concentrate on your business. You concentrate on your business. Your infrastructure, somebody will monitor. Somebody will give you infrastructure to run your project. You pay the rent for them. That's it. आसान है नहीं है? Now tell me, maintaining the infrastructure, setting up the infrastructure on our own, setting up the infrastructure on our own is easy, or using the infrastructure given by the AWS is easy? which is easy for you. You will purchase all these things, or you will go for rent. Come on. If you purchase all these things, you have 1 crore rupees. You have 1 crore rupees, or you up karodpati hai bhai. Up karodpati. You have 10 crores. You purchased. Setup कौन करेगा? Who will set up? आपको पता है क्या ये सब कुछ? How to set up the servers? How to set up the load balancer? How to set up the network? How to set up the power backup, AC setup, security guard, एक building rent ले लो. You have money, but still you have to spend lot of time. बहुत tensions आता है भाई, बहुत tension आता है. Because you have money. If you have money, we cannot do everything, right? Today, your network administrator not feeling well, he did not come to office. You are paying 1 lakh salary for that person. You have money. You are giving 1 lakh, but वो बंदा आज छुट्टी. क्या करेगा? Can you go to the market and call the hey network person, please come to my office and fix the issue? Can you get the people like that? Can you get the people on the roads who can fix your network issue? No. You need a skilled person, highly technical person you need to fix the issue. Technical people will not be there on the roads. Okay? So even if you purchase, you need to spend a lot of time. both tensions lena padega. Why to take these tensions when somebody will take care of this? आराम से आप पैसा पे को तमाशा देखो. They will take care of your work. They will take care of your infrastructure. That is called cloud computing. The future of the IT industry is cloud computing only, guys. Now, can you imagine any company will do all these things nowadays? Maybe now some companies are doing after 1 year, after 2 years, after 1 year, after 2 years. Do you think that companies will take care of all these things manually? No, it is a difficult, time waste, money waste. People are there who will provide you whatever you need based on rent. That is called cloud computing. There are advantages also. Pay as you go, low cost, scalability, availability, reliability, security, unlimited data storage, backup. Like that, there are so many advantages also available when you go for this cloud computing. Guys, are you able to understand the main crux of this workshop? What is cloud computing and what are the advantages of the cloud computing? That is the main crux of this workshop. What is cloud computing and why we should go for cloud computing? What are the problems if we don't use cloud computing? Are you able to understand my point? What is cloud? What are the problems if we don't use cloud? What are the advantages of going for the cloud? I hope I'm able to explain you clearly. I hope I'm able to explain you clearly what is cloud computing and what are the advantages of going for cloud computing. Okay, AWS, we are talking about AWS here. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. AWS stands for what, guys? Amazon Web Services. What is this Amazon Web Services? Some people are there, Java people. Sir, we know SOAP Web Services. We know RESTful services. What is this Amazon Web Services? Do you have that question? We know SOAP Web Services. We know RESTful services. Then what is this Amazon Web Services? Amazon Web Services means Amazon company providing you services through web. That's why they are called it as Amazon Web Services. It is not our Java web service. Amazon Web Service nothing but Amazon providing you IT services through web. That's why it is called as Amazon Web Services. Our SOAP Web Services, RESTful services, Amazon Web Services, no comparison at all. SOAP Web Service, that is a program to develop a distributed application. Amazon Web Service nothing but they are providing IT resources through internet. Through web, they are providing the service to the people. That's why they are called it as Amazon Web Services. AWS, Amazon Web Services. Amazon company is one of the famous cloud provider available in the market. Amazon company is one of the famous cloud provider available in the market. What this Amazon company doing? Amazon company providing the infrastructure for you, which is required for your project. Amazon company providing the infrastructure that is required for your project. Can you see AWS here? Can you see AWS here? What is this AWS? What is this AWS? What is AWS? AWS is one of the cloud provider. AWS is one of the cloud provider. Whatever you want, whatever the infrastructure you want, you can take it from the AWS guys. Whatever the infrastructure that you want, you can take it from the AWS. Are you clear with my point? You just go to Google, you search for what is AWS. You search in the Google, what is AWS? Amazon Web Services, AWS is the world's most comprehensive and broadly adapted cloud platform, offering 200 plus fully featured services from the data centers. Amazon Web Services, nothing but AWS, it is providing 200 plus services. It is providing 200 plus services over the web to provide infrastructure for the people. To provide the infrastructure for the people. Got it? What is this AWS? What is this AWS? In 2006, Amazon Web Services began offering IT infrastructure services to business as web service. Now, commonly, we are calling it as cloud computing. From the 2006 onwards, Amazon company providing IT infrastructure for rent through web. That's why we are calling that as Amazon Web Services. Whatever the Amazon has done in the 2006, now we are calling it as a cloud computing. Today, Amazon is providing the services in 190 plus countries. More than 190 countries, people are using Amazon Web Services to set up the infrastructure for their projects. You understood what is AWS now? In 2006, Amazon Web Services started providing the infrastructure for rent through web. That's why it is called Amazon Web Services. Today, AWS provides highly reliable, scalable, low-cost infrastructure platform in the cloud that powers hundreds of thousands of businesses in 190 countries around the world. That is the history of the AWS. Amazon Web Services. Now, so Amazon Web Services is a cloud platform which is given by Amazon company. You are purchasing the mobiles in the Amazon website na? वही Amazon है भाई. Amazon is providing the IT resources over the internet. That's why it is called Amazon Web Services. It is there in the market from 2006 onwards. They are having 200 plus services in the AWS. In 190 countries, people are using AWS. That is the demand for the AWS in the market. That is the demand for AWS in the market. Okay? Now, what are the services available in the AWS? AWS services. AWS services. AWS is offering 200 plus services. AWS is offering how many services, guys? 200 plus services the AWS is offering for us. What are those services? Are we going to use all the 200 services in a single project? Are we going to use the 200 services in the single project in the AWS, guys? No, maybe 15 to 20 services we will be using in a project. Maybe 15 to 20, maximum 15 to 20 services that we are going to use in a project to set up our infrastructure. Now, here I have given few services which are very famous in the AWS here. There are 200 plus services are available in the AWS. Out of the 200, I have given few services here which are very important to know. I have given few services which are very important to know. These are called famous or frequently used services in the AWS. What are those? First one is EC2, guys. What is the first service, guys? EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. By using this EC2, we can create virtual machines. Now, I want to 10 servers for my project, VMs. By using this EC2 service, we can create virtual machine. I want to deploy my application in a server. If I want to deploy my application in a server, I need to have the computer to install the server. How can you get a computer from the AWS? To provide the virtual computers for you, AWS is having one service called EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2 stands for what? Elastic Compute Cloud. What is the purpose of that EC2? By using EC2, you can take virtual machines from the AWS. Computer you can take for rent. Virtual computer you can take for rent from the AWS by using a service called EC2. Are you clear with EC2? Elastic Compute Cloud. That is, by using that, you can create hundreds, thousands of virtual computers. There is no limit. If you pay the money, they will provide you. You got it. And the next one, there is another service called S3. S3 service is nothing but storage. S3 nothing but simple storage service. You can store unlimited data by using S3. People generally call it as S3 buckets. S3 is used to store the data. Now you can see in the YouTube. In the YouTube, is there any limit for storing the data? Is there any limit for storing the data in the YouTube? No limit. Can I say YouTube is unlimited storage? Can I say YouTube is unlimited storage? Yes, YouTube is a unlimited storage. So which is service in the AWS will support for unlimited storage of data? Which is service in the AWS will support for unlimited storage of data? S3. S3. Which is service will give you virtual computers in the AWS? Which service will give you virtual computers in the AWS, guys? EC2. EC2. Okay, next one. RDS, Relational Database Service. For my project, I want MySQL database. Do you need to purchase the database? Or I want MySQL, or I want Oracle, SQL databases. Do you want a database? Then AWS will provide you the database by using RDS service. Which service will provide you SQL database in the AWS, guys? Which database will provide you SQL database in the AWS? That is called RDS service. If you want to go for NoSQL database, DynamoDB. Oracle is a SQL, Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, these all are SQL databases. I want to store my data in the documents format, not in the tables format. I have unstructured data. To deal with unstructured data, you might have heard about big data. To deal with unstructured data, we will go for NoSQL databases. Which service will support for NoSQL database in the Amazon? DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a NoSQL database available in the AWS. MongoDB is a NoSQL database. DynamoDB is a NoSQL database. And another service is available which is called Route 53. That is very, very, very important. Last time in the last slide, I explained you DNS name will be mapped with the IP address. Na? DNS name will be mapped with IP address. Na? Who will do the DNS mapping with IP address? That is our Route 53 only. You are entering www.facebook.com. That is a domain name. The domain will be mapped with the server IP address by using Route 53 service in the AWS. Route 53 is used to configure the domain name with IP address mapping. When you hit facebook.com, that URL will be mapped to load balancer IP address. That's why you are able to access the application which is running in the server by using facebook.com. Which service is used for the domain name mapping to IP address in the AWS? Route 53. Route 53. Next one, EBS, Elastic Block Storage. If you want to store the data, in a EC2, when you go for EC2, By default, they will give you for Linux 8 GB space. That 8 GB not sufficient for me. I want more space. EBS. By using EBS, you can store 16 TB data. Elastic block storage. Additional space I want for my computer. Whenever you launch a Linux computer by using EC2, by default, they will give you 8 GB. Suppose if you go for a Windows machine, they will give you 30 GB. For Linux machine, they will give you 8 GB. 8 GB not sufficient for me. I want more space in my computer. Then go for EBS up to 16 TB. Up to 16 TB, not GB. 16 TB data you can store. Okay. EC2, S3, RDS, DynamoDB, Route 53, EBS. EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. If you want to create a virtual machine, virtual computer, you want a computer for rent. AWS is giving the computers for rent by using EC2. You want unlimited storage. You want to store a huge amount of data, which is generating by your application. Go to S3. You want a database for your project, then go for RDS. If you want a SQL database, go for RDS. If you want a NoSQL database, then go for a DynamoDB. Now, I want to map my application domain name to load balancer IP. For that, we will go for Route 53 service. When you create a Linux computer in the EC2, they will give you 8 GB default space. I want more space, then go for EBS service in the AWS, Elastic Block Storage. The next one, VPC. VPC stands for virtual computer. What is the meaning VPC? Virtual private cloud. VPC stands for virtual private cloud. What is the meaning of VPC is? What is the meaning of VPC is virtual private cloud. That means I will keep my servers here. Now here I am having my EC2. Here I am having my S3, or here I am having my RDS database. Okay. Can you allow the people to access your database directly? One end user can access your database directly. Can we allow the people to access our database directly? No. Can you allow the people to access your database directly? No. Then what we need to do? We need to provide the security for our services. Na? We need to provide the security for our services. That's where we are going to use virtual private cloud. All these services we are going to keep inside the private network. All these services I will keep inside the private network by creating a VPC. People cannot access the services directly. People should pass through VPC, virtual private cloud. When you are setting up the services required for the project, definitely we need to use the VPC in order to secure our services. We need to use the VPC in order to secure our services. And the next one is load balancer, guys. Next one is load balancer. Do you know what is a load balancer? Already I explained what is load balancer. Do you know load balancer now? What is a load balancer? Can you tell me what is a load balancer? Come on. Can you tell me what is a load balancer? Load balancer is used to distribute the traffic to multiple servers. In order to set up load balancer for your application in the AWS, there is a service available which is called LBR. Which service is available to do load balancing in the AWS? Which service is available to do the load balancing in the AWS? LBR is available. Which service is available to do the load balancing, guys? LBR is available to do load balancing for your project. Okay, LBR is available to do the load balancing for our project. LBR, load balancer. Auto scaling concept is available. Auto scaling is nothing but when the more traffic is coming, I want to add the servers. When the less traffic is coming, I want to remove the servers from my load balancer. For that purpose, we are going to use auto scaling. We are going to use auto scaling. Next one, IAM is available. Identity and access management. Identity and access management. Who can access which service? Who can access which service in the AWS? That we can control by using IAM. Elastic Beanstalk. It's very famous service in the AWS. Sorry, Beanstalk. Beanstalk. Beanstalk nothing but whatever the infrastructure that you need to set up for your application manually, a Beanstalk will do automatically. So you no need to set up EC2, you no need to set up the database, you no need to set up the VPC. Everything can be done by Beanstalk. Beanstalk means you just to provide your code. Beanstalk will take care of the remaining stuff. You just to provide your code, Beanstalk will take care of the remaining stuff. That means Beanstalk will create the platform which is required to run your project. Beanstalk will create the platform which is required to run your project. Whatever you do manually, that can be automated by using Beanstalk. Sorry, I have repeated the VPC, guys. VPC already I have explained. Virtual private cloud, which is used to protect our resources from the public access. Next one, CloudWatch. CloudWatch is for monitoring purpose. Now, CloudWatch I am going to configure here, which will monitor my EC2. If EC2 is reaching CPU utilization reaching to 50%, I want to send one message. I want to monitor my services, whether my services are running properly or not. I want to check it. That monitoring activity, we can do by using this CloudWatch. Light Sail, this is also used to deploy your applications easily, set up your applications easily by using Light Sail service. Next one, SNS available, simple notification service. Now, when your project is running, if some exception occurred in the project, I want to send a notification. I want to send a mail notification. I want to send a message notification. Such kind of notifications also can be done in the AWS by using a service called Simple Notification Service. By using a service called Simple Notification Service. Are you clear with all the services available in the AWS now? Are you clear with all the services available in the AWS now? These are the frequently used services. Total, there are 200 plus services are available in the AWS. Out of them, these services are very frequently used. EC2, S3, RDS, DynamoDB, Route 53, Elastic Block Storage, VPC, Load Balancer, Auto Scaling, IAM, Identity Access Management, Beanstalk, CloudWatch, Lightsail, SNS, Simple Notification Service. All these services we are going to cover in our regular AWS classes. That AWS classes are going to start from tomorrow at 7 p.m. Today it is a introduction session for you guys. From tomorrow, the actual classes are going to start for AWS. From 18th April, that is from tomorrow only, 7 to 8 p.m. we are starting the AWS. So this is the introduction session. What is AWS? Why to learn the AWS? What is cloud computing? I hope I have clarified that in the today's workshop. So from tomorrow, regular classes available for AWS. We are going to work on all these services to set up the infrastructure required for our project. The classes happening from tomorrow, timings 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. The classes will be available from Monday to Saturday. The classes are online through Zoom app. The classes will be happening. Okay. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. we are going to start with AWS services. The very first service we are going to start in the AWS tomorrow is called EC2. How to take a computer from the AWS virtually by using EC2. That we are going to start from tomorrow. We are going to cover almost 15 plus services in the AWS course. We are going to cover 15 plus services in the AWS which are having demand in the market. Those 15 services we are going to cover, which we will use frequently in the project's development. As I told you, tomorrow 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. the course duration, it will take 45 days for the AWS guys. After the AWS is completed, in the same slot, the DevOps is going to start. Actually, this is combination of AWS and DevOps. First 45 days, I'm going to explain AWS. Then after 45 days, once our AWS is completed, then continuation DevOps will be available. DevOps also will take 45 days. Total, it is 3 months program, 45 days for AWS, 45 days for DevOps. So from tomorrow, the batch is getting started from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. First, we'll complete the AWS services. 15 plus services will become a master in the AWS cloud. Then after, we are going to see deployments of our applications by following DevOps practices. It is AWS with DevOps course. The people who are really interested to become AWS engineer or AWS with DevOps engineer can attend the class from tomorrow. Same Zoom link you can use to attend the classes from tomorrow onwards. You can attend 3 free classes for AWS to understand. You can attend 3 free classes from tomorrow to understand. Now you joined in this Zoom link na, same Zoom link you can use to join the AWS class tomorrow. Same time, same Zoom link. Same time, same Zoom link you can use to attend the classes from tomorrow. Only AWS is 8,000 rupees. DevOps with AWS is 12,000 rupees. The course fees, some people are asking the course fees. Only AWS 45 days, it is 8,000. If you want to attend AWS with DevOps, then it is 12,000. You can attend 3 classes for free from tomorrow so that you can understand how we are discussing the subject. After 3 classes, then if you are interested, then you can pay the fee. Then you can continue the remaining classes. So tomorrow onwards, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 classes are free. Free classes you can attend. Okay. Only DevOps is 8,000. Only AWS is 8,000. If you join for both, package 12,000. If you take separately, you need to pay 8 plus 8, 16,000. If you take the package AWS plus DevOps, then 12,000 you can get both. First 45 days completely AWS we are going to learn. Then after we are going to learn the DevOps. We are going to discuss the AWS not at the associate. We are going to discuss at the cloud practitioner level, not just associate. AWS I'm going to explain you at the cloud practitioner level. Okay? Yeah. The people who want to take this course, please join the classes from tomorrow. These are the live sessions, guys. Every day class will be live. Every day class will be live. Completely, it is a practical oriented course. We are going to discuss the real-time scenarios. Okay. Currently, how I am using this AWS in my current project. Currently, I'm working in the company. How I am using this AWS services in my project. I will tell you all my project scenarios as well. It's not just theory. It's 100% practical oriented real-time training. You can see that from tomorrow you attend 3 classes for free. You no need to pay the money immediately. You attend the 3 classes for free on the AWS. If you like our course, then you can join. Okay. Fine. As I mentioned, for AWS, it is 8,000 rupees. For AWS plus DevOps, it is 12,000 rupees course fees. Now, some people are asking, what is the course content we are going to cover here? Guys, you can download the course content from our website. You can download the course content from our website. In the website, we have uploaded the document of PDF document for the course content. Okay, I sent you link in the chat box. Click on that link and download the course content. The people who are watching in YouTube, thank you guys for joining in this live session. So please subscribe to our channel and like this video. If you want to be part of this training, in the description of the video, you can find the link for our website. In our website, you can see the schedule. Zoom link is available for that. Please join the session tomorrow in the Zoom. Okay, live classes are happening in the Zoom. If you want to become a AWS cloud practitioner, then this is the best opportunity for you. After 45 days, DevOps also will start. You can join for the DevOps with AWS. Some people who want to learn only AWS, for AWS it is 8,000. The people who want to learn both AWS and DevOps, then it is 12,000 fees, 3 months program. AWS 45 days and DevOps 45 days. It is AWS with DevOps. First AWS, then DevOps. Cool. So I think all of you joined in our Telegram channel. You will get all the updates related to the new batches and all in the Telegram. Yeah, real-time projects also will be covered. Real-time projects also will be covered in this course. I told you this is completely project-oriented training with real-time scenarios. It's not theory, it's practical. You can join the class tomorrow also. I told you 3 days you can join the classes for free. You can see how I'm explaining the subject. If you like my subject, if you like my explanation, after 3 days you can decide whether to join this or not. You can attend the classes with the same Zoom link tomorrow at 7 p.m. AWS first class is going to start from tomorrow. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. With this, I'm signing off for today. We'll meet again in the tomorrow session. Until then, bye-bye. Good night. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Yep. Course content link I have sent in the chat. You can download from there to see what we are going to cover in the AWS and DevOps. Link I have sent in the chat box. So you can click on that link and download the course content, guys. You can click on the link and download the course content. People who are watching in YouTube, so please visit our website. There you can find all the details. Yeah, I will give you link for you also in the chat. Yeah. YouTube viewers, I sent a link in the chat. Click on that link and download the syllabus. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. From tomorrow, regular classes for AWS. Regular class will start from tomorrow.